Hello everybody, Happy New Year. I hope you're having a great start to your new year of 2017. I hope you had a great 2016. Did you celebrate New Year's Eve? I did. I went out with my husband for like the first time in years. It was fantastic. I think I showed you guys some of it on Snapchat. Anyway, I'm on my second coffee, so you know how that goes. I'm getting a little bit hyper, but that's always a good thing because I have a lot of energy to talk about my best of 2016. Now, I approached this very differently than I approached last year's. Funnily enough, I went to watch my best of 2015 and I remembered that I had accidentally deleted it from my channel a few months ago, not on purpose, just accidentally, and I had never re-uploaded it, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I did have a list of what it was, and so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't repeating things, and I don't think I am. But in that list, I believe I only had like 15 things because I was really just trying to do like my best top 15 of the year. Well, this time I decided to just go through my entire collection and just pull out my absolute favorites that I discovered in 2016. So not necessarily that launched in 2016, but that I personally discovered. Now I know lots of people approach best ofs very differently. This is just how I'm gonna do it. So I just pulled a ton of stuff to talk about. So I'm sure that this video is going to be long, and I know I'm going to have to split it up because I have a ton of face stuff in front of me, and then I also have a ton of lip and eye stuff, which I will do in another video. So I'll do them probably one after the other. So the first thing that I want to talk about is primers, and this one was such a standout this year. I've talked about it so much throughout the year. I know you guys have heard about this if you've been watching me this year at all. This is the Peter Thomas Roth 24 karat gold pure luxury lift and firm prism cream. So they describe it as a self-adjusting illuminator. You can use it all over your face. You can spot use it depending on how much glow you want. The way I like to use this is all over my entire face underneath my foundation. I suppose you could probably mix it into foundation, but I just like to use it as a primer, and I just get that glow kind of come through my foundation. And this is a very nice feeling product on the skin. It's very moisturizing. It's, you know, not sticky at all, and it's not like silicone-y at all. It feels like a moisturizer, but it has a lot of glow to it. I love the packaging. I mean, it's so hollow, so beautiful. That is my #1 primer of the year, but that's not really good for like filling in pores and stuff like that. So for pore filling, I've really loved the Benefit Professional this year, but I didn't discover that this year. One that I did discover this year, I'm sure you're probably sick of me talking about because I've been talking about this a lot in the last 2 months because I only got it in the VIB sale. So this is the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing Stick. This is like a little stick here which rolls up. It's got this little product in it. It is kind of like a pore filling primer. I just put it on my forehead right there and right here and right here. And that's the only places I need it on my face. And I really like this. It's really good for filling in pores, giving you that smooth surface for your foundation to go on top of. This has been quite a good year for foundations for me. I did find what I have now decided is my holy grail foundation. It's the one I can't put down. It's the one I put in my makeup use up for this year because I love it so much. It's the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. I was very surprised when I first bought this at how much I loved it for my oily skin because it is called hydrating, but it is absolutely perfect for oily skin. I'm wearing this today. I'm trying to wear a lot of these things today. First of all, the shade match is really, really good. They have a large shade range. As far as the finish it gives, it is matte, but it still glows a little bit. What I really love about this is its longevity. Like, it calls itself 15-hour wear. I don't know anybody who really has to wear foundation for like 24 hours or 18 hours like a lot of these things claim, but I have worn this for like a solid morning till night and it's still on my face. And with my oily skin, that is saying something. Like, a lot of the time my oil will break down foundations, even when I blot it. This stays on from morning till night, still looks really good at night. I usually do have to blot it at some point during the day, like my oils still will come through, but the foundation will not break down from them. So love this. Now, another favorite this year has been the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. I actually did like a full video on this all day wear test. It's one of my most viewed videos. Don't ask me why, I guess people need reviews on this foundation. But I really like this. Now, I will say this, if you have super oily skin, you probably won't like this in the summertime. I don't like this in the summertime. It does transfer when it's super sweaty and like oily in the summer, more so than in the fall and winter. So I really like this in the spring, fall, and winter, and it gives a beautiful finish, nice full coverage. Really like this one too. Another surprise this year from the drugstore is the CoverGirl Clean Matte Foundation. It's called the BB Cream for oily skin. It specifically says that right on there. I really feel like this gives as good of a finish as a lot of high-end foundations. It breathes, you know, it's not like, I really like the L'Oreal Infallible, but that one kind of really doesn't let your skin breathe, you know, like it's meant to be matte and not let anything come through. Whereas I feel like this, it still feels really nice on the skin. Like it doesn't feel overly drying. It still feels like you have a little bit of moisture, but yet it controls your oil. It doesn't break down. It's a nice fullish, how do I say this? It's a nice medium coverage, like a full medium. Really like this product a lot, even in the height of summer. This is also the year that I found my holy grail concealer. I did a whole video on this, a review and comparison with the waterproof version. So this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer. I have eyelash glue on my fingernail. You know, I will say this has nothing to do with this video. That House of Lashes glue, it works, but whenever I use it, I don't know why, it sprays my hands and it gets all over my fingers and my nail polish. Annoying. Okay, let's move on to what this video is actually about. So, Holy Grail Concealer. I got this, I can't remember when. I will link any particular videos I talk about where I reviewed any of these things. I want to say it was like back in the spring, maybe summer. Definitely like summer or before. And I am very close to using this up. Like I use this almost every time I use my makeup. This is so full coverage. It's so hydrating, like it's not drying. It blends so beautifully into the skin. Even though this is not the waterproof version, it behaves like a waterproof. Like got the nice doe foot applicator. It even has this kind of pleasant smell to it. I just love this. I can't say enough good things about this. And for somebody with super dark circles, take it from me. This is awesome. Speaking of dark circles, this is the year of correctors. I think we know Sephora was pushing correctors very, very hard this year. Okay, let me just say this. I don't think everybody needs a color corrector. And I certainly don't think everybody needs every color of corrector. Figure out what your skin needs in terms of balancing it and just stick with that. Stick with what you need. Don't feel like you need every color under the rainbow, and you probably don't need a whole palette unless you're like a makeup artist. So figure out what you need and find something that really works for you. So the only color corrector I use is this one. This is the Urban Decay Color Correcting Fluid. It's the Naked Skin one in peach. It's the same applicator as their concealer, the Naked Skin Concealer Doe Foot, that's like kind of flat. This is really, really nice. I will overlay swatches of everything. That's why I'm not really swatching a lot of stuff. But it's really nice at blending in. It's not as deep as like the Benefit one, the Erase Paste. This is a little bit lighter and I feel like a little bit better consistency. It's not as emollient. It's not as sticky and thick. It really kind of melds with your skin a lot better. And I use this literally every time I do my makeup. Look, it's like down to there now. And when did I get this? Whenever these launched, I think in like the late spring. Love that. That's my holy grail. I will always continue to go back to that one. So you guys know I love me some high-end makeup, but surprisingly every powder that I love is drugstore. Like I own one MAC powder that I really like, but every powder I love is super affordable and from the drugstore. I don't know why. I can't explain that, but I have 4 here that I discovered this year. I don't want to spend too much time on each one because there's 4 of them, but I do love all of these. So starting off with the Maybelline Better Skin skin transforming powder. This has salicylic acid in it, so it is supposed to be for like acne prone oily skin. Mine is in the shade 25 Nude Beige. So it does come with a little, it has nice packaging. It's a nice big mirror on it. It's got a little sponge, which I have used from time to time. It's a little bit dirty. I have put a good dip in this. This to me is just like, it has a little bit of coverage, not too much. I use this a lot on my no makeup days when I just do like concealer on my under my eyes, and then I'll just put this all over my face without any other foundation on. But I do also use this sometimes as a setting powder. It's really super good for oily skin. It's really good at controlling your oil, and it's really good for repowdering after you've blotted throughout the day. For baking, I have two that I really love. It's probably no surprise. The RCMA No Color Powder. This has been the year of this powder. I think if beauty gurus across the board had to pick like one product this year that really stood out, I think a lot of people would pick this because it just burst onto the scene and everybody and their mother loves it. I really like this for baking my under eyes. I think it's awesome. And same thing, this one here, the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. Now mine is in the shade Naturally Neutral, which does have a little bit of color to it, but it does come in translucent. This has a very heavy fragrance. I've heard you can get like an unfragranced version. The fragrance doesn't bother me so much. It really works. It's really good for baking your under eye, for getting your makeup to like stay all day. And although my holy grail face powder is the e.l.f. HD press powder, and I still absolutely love that one, and I used up an entire one this year. That's not on my list because I didn't discover it this year, but what I did discover this year is the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. Now this is not a new product, it's existed for a long time, but again, I only found it this year. I put this in my makeup use up as well because I love it that much. I have used this to death in the last month. I'm sure I'm gonna hit pan on it probably in the next month. Mine is in the shade Creamy Natural. There's not too much actual coverage in this or color, but again, so good for oily skin. Like, I don't even feel like I need to repowder throughout the day with this. I probably do have to blot at one point, but I don't feel like I need to apply more powder on top. It's just that good at controlling my oil, and I have the oiliest skin in the world. In the spring, during the VIB sale, is the first time I purchased these. These are the Clinique Cheek Pops. I have Peach Pop and Berry Pop. Love these so much. I'm wearing Peach Pop on my face today. And then in the fall, I purchased this one, which is a beautiful fall shade, the Black Honey Pop. I really like these because they have a lot of pigment, but they don't start out with a lot. Like, they are the true definition of buildable. So you're never gonna go overboard with these. You can really like dig your brush in there to start with, and you're not gonna end up looking like a clown. But it does build up to the point where you can get a nice color on your cheeks. They all have a little bit of sheen to them. I don't feel like any of them are truly matte. The Hourglass blushes, this only just launched, and I just think it's that good that I really need to talk about it again. So this is the Ambient Lighting Blush Palette. One of these is a permanent one, and that is Incandescent Electra, which is this one here, which is actually my favorite in all of them. It's a little bit more peach, and I put this all over my cheek on top of the Peach Pop blush. I love all of these. I have another full-size one as well. What I really like about these is kind of the same thing as this, is they're not like so ba-bam in your face from the get-go. Like, they are buildable. These are less buildable, I feel like, because they do have that glow to them where you're getting a lot more glow than color. So if you really like, you know, to be glowy but not necessarily have a ton of color on your cheeks, you would probably really like these blushes. One I talked about to death in the springtime, I got during the spring VIB sale, is the Laura Mercier Second Skin Cheek Color in the shade Lotus Pink. Love, love, love this blush so much. I put this in my makeup use up for 2017. This is one of my all-time favorite blush colors ever. It's so pretty. Now these are a little bit more pigmented. You have to be a little bit more careful than with these other two formulas. And another drugstore option that I fell in love with in the summertime, and I really want to get more. I still need to remind myself to get more of these because they're awesome. The NYX Ombre Blush, and this one is in the shade Soft Flush. It's a little bit more than a soft flush. It's quite bold actually, but this is so pretty in the summertime. It's like a burnt apricot, and you get here your blush on this side and kind of like a sheen slash highlight on that side, and depending where you put your brush or how much you mix it, you're gonna get a little bit more sheen, a little bit more matte. I love this. The formula is really good. Super, super pigmented though, so you do have to be careful with this. Okay, on to highlights. There were two discoveries this year that are so like mind-blowing that they were no-brainers for me to put in here, and then one that I recently just got that I haven't even been able to put in the favorites yet because I only just got it, but I think it is so good that I want to include it here. So let's start out with this. This is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Brick in the shade Natural Nude. I loved this so much when I first started using it, and it took a long time to put it away, and once I put it away I kind of moved on to other things. When I was going through my collection yesterday, I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe I have not pulled that out in a while. So I am wearing this today on my cheeks. It is so much glow, it's so pretty, and depending where you put your brush, you're going to get something different every time. If you have deeper skin tone, you have the option of like the middle and the deeper side, and of course lighter skin tone you can stick over here. But I usually put my brush kind of right in this quadrant right there, and it's such a pretty glow. Love this so much. It's so striking and a bold highlight for sure. The Cover FX, what is it called? The Perfect Light Highlighting Powder. This is in the shade Moonlight. This is now my favorite highlight ever. Like, I've decided that over the last month. It is my favorite highlight. I can't stop using it. It is so intense and beautiful, and I really love this one so much. I think Moonlight is the only really good one in this line though. I don't really like the other two at all. I don't feel like they give as much glow as this particular color. And the packaging on this is really just like kids plastic, but what's inside is what counts. And the one I haven't even really been able to talk about yet on my channel is this one. It's from Makeup Revolution. It's the Vivid Baked Highlighter. This is in the shade Radiant Lights. Oh my lord, you guys, this is so intense. A brush picks up so much product off of this. Like, you get so, it's intense. This is intense, and depending how heavy-handed you are, you're gonna get a really in-your-face highlight, which you guys know I like. If you are the kind of person who doesn't like intense highlights, we can still be friends, but I'm never gonna change. So I love me a striking highlight. This one is amazing, and this is from the drugstore. Now this is very hard to find here in Canada. I got it as a birthday gift when my mother-in-law went down to Ulta in the States. So next time I am anywhere near the US border in a drugstore, that's where I'm heading. I didn't get very many new brushes this year, but I did get two that I think are standouts. Actually, this one, I'm not sure if I got it this year or not, but this is the year that it really stood out to me, so let's include it. It's the e.l.f. Complexion Brush. This is like an all-over face powder brush. I use it purely for pressed powder. You could use it for bronzer as well. There's nothing like particularly that soft about it. It's just kind of a regular face brush, except for the fact that it really picks up powdered, like pressed powder really well. So like the NYX, for example. It just gets a perfect amount on your brush. You don't need to dig around in there. It just really picks it up really nicely and distributes it all over your face. Super affordable, really love that brush. And then this one is such a standout as well. This is the Wayne Goss 02 brush. Now I have I have two Wayne Goss eye brushes, and I don't particularly think they stand out any more than like regular brushes that I have. But this one does. This one is really something special. So this one I use for a variety of things. I started out just using it to set under my eye because it's a super, super soft brush. And it's really good for that. It's also a perfect shade to highlight with, which I like to use it for that as well. But what I really, really like about this brush is that it's excellent for blending. So whenever I use a blush and it maybe gets a little out of hand, or it goes overboard, or it's patchy, especially if it looks a little patchy, I will just go over that blush with this brush and it blends it to perfection. I know this is a little bit expensive, but I really feel like this is worth every penny. I only have a couple skincare things. I can't remember when I got this, but you know what? This is my only and forever, and hopefully they never discontinue this, my only and forever daytime moisturizer from now on. I've decided I'm not experimenting. This is it. I have been using this I know I've been using it more than a year, but again, it started standing out to me more this year, so I'm gonna include it for that reason. This is the Paula's Choice Resist Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Fluid. It used to be called the Daily Mattifying Fluid. They changed the name, but they did not change the product. I think the name was just confusing people because it's a moisturizer and it had mattifying on it. And it does have SPF 50 in it. So I've talked about this quite a bit. The reason I love this, number one, it's got the high SPF in it. Number two, it melts into my skin and it doesn't disturb any makeup I put on top of it. So a lot of the time, moisturizers, if they're too thick or too greasy or I don't know, whatever reason, if I put makeup on top, they'll make the makeup ball up, come off, get patchy and gross. Hate that. This never disturbs my makeup at all, and I always know I have that SPF in it. It is a fluid. It's like very runny. So let's just show you here. I think you'll be able to see like it's just going down there. So it's kind of funny to apply it to your face because it kind of goes everywhere. Like it's kind of messy to start with, but it does just blend right into the skin. Feels great. It does have a little bit of an SPF scent to it, but I can get over that because it fades pretty quickly. So love this. I always have a coupon code in my description bar for Paula's Choice where you can get $10 off, $15, your first order of $15 or more. You can use it, you don't have to, whatever you like, but anybody can get that code once you've signed up. The next skincare is this sleeping mask from Dior. I know this is expensive and I don't necessarily think, I don't know. It's not one of those things I'm gonna say you have to get this, but since I got this, I'm very happy that I did. So let's just say that. This is the Hydra Life Jelly Sleeping Mask. I did receive a little sample of this way earlier in the year and I loved it so much. I didn't plan on buying the full size, but I ended up getting some points and there was a like 10% off at the Bay once. So I bit the bullet, didn't pay full price, but you know, it's still fairly expensive. It is a pot, which I know is not ideal, but the way I use it is not with my fingers. Like I don't dip my fingers in there. I use like a little spatula to take it out with. And I feel like that's going to, you know, keep the longevity of the good stuff in there without getting all bacteria and stuff in it. Anyway, I use this at night. I put it on over top of all my moisturizers and all of that. And just, you put it on at night, you go to sleep, you wash your face in the morning. And I really feel like it kind of plumps the skin, gives it a very youthful look. I really love that product a lot. The next thing is this Brazilian Bum Bum Cream from Sol Janeiro. This got a lot of hype this year and I think it's well deserved. I already went through an entire travel size. This is the travel size. I decided when I got it that I wanted to be absolutely consistent to see if it actually worked and did what it said it did. And so I used it every single night until the entire jar was gone. And I only really put it right on the cellulite. So I didn't put it all over my legs, just right, kind of spot treated it. And I really did see an improvement. I really saw a difference. I think this is an excellent product. It is super expensive. I was given this one for Christmas, which is why it's sealed up. But I'm kind of gonna save it, I think, for closer to the springtime, closer to when you're starting to wear shorts again, closer to, you know, that kind of season. Right now, I don't feel like I really need that. But if you're the kind of person who just wants to keep your cellulite off all year round, you would probably love this a lot. Very last thing is Perfume. I fell in love with this one this year and it was given to me for Christmas. This is Angel Muse by Thierry Mugler and I love this. Again, I'm not good at describing scents except to say this is very, very sweet. Very like a thick, heavy sweetness. Really love this perfume a lot. The packaging is so pretty too. I don't know. Scent is very personal, but I love that one. Okay, so that is it for like all of my face stuff, and again, a little bit of body in there. Stay tuned for my eyes, best of eyes and lips. I will be recording that next, and that will go up shortly after this one. And that is it for today. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You can do that down below. Just click the button, and you can also be notified if you click the little bell there as well. And thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope you find this very helpful, and let me know what your favorites of 2016 were down in the comments if there's something that I absolutely need and need to go run out and pick up. So that is it for today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.